To start the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Never Explain, the other science comedy panel game show that we've always called ourselves the other. There isn't actually a main one. That's how alternative we are. We're the alternative to absolutely nothing at all. It's very exciting to be with you. My name's Steve Cross. I'm dressed as Bill Russell. I'll be, because it's too hot, I'll be your host this evening, and I'll be asking questions of two wonderful teams of science and comedy celebrities, and the biggest science and comedy celebrity of them all will be keeping track of all the points they get for their brilliant answers, provided that she can handle what would appear to be an entire cat bowl of margarita mounted on a stick. It's very exciting. So I'm going to introduce you to her first, and then we'll find out who all of our players are. Jones the Maths over there in Wales, because this is an international game show and Wales is another country. They do things differently there. Their margaritas are large. Sarah, how have you been?
Hi. Well, I've been really good. Today I've been enjoying the Welsh National Air Conditioning System, aka rain.
Rain. I mean, that's a beautiful thing that England built Wales there to catch all the rain. It's like a giant windbreak.
Oh, but aren't we just relaxing in our nice 20-degree temperatures today?
I'm quite jealous. Okay, so that's Jones. Jones will be keeping score and reminding us how the teams are doing. For those of you who don't know the rules, I ask questions. Our teams say answers every time they say something that makes me laugh or would make me laugh if I wasn't too tired and hot and sweaty from just living to enjoy anything at all. You hear this noise. That noise means they've got a point, and Sarah will keep track of who gets which points. The teams score points. I might give myself the odd point. I might give Jones the odd point. Last week, I gave Wales a point just for the whole nation. We never know where points are going to go, but it's very exciting. So let's find out who our wonderful teams are. So first of all, we have our first returning team. Just as a reminder, there is a Never Explain league table. I keep track of every single score. They all add together. There's a complicated mathematical formula, but this is the first team who are taking advantage of the fact that your second game really benefits you more than any other you'll play in our formula. Kate, hello.
Hello.
How have you been? Been up to anything good?
I've been up to staying in my house and being very good about going out a minimal amount.
And Kate, you work sometimes for a museum that has some science, one of the many museums that has some science in. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Great. Do you want to tell our audience a bit about your science and comedy credentials?
Yes. Well, for those of you who haven't already heard, I am Australian. Now, it does take things a little while to get to Australia. It's a little bit slower. So we actually haven't gotten science yet or comedy, but it's going to be coming any day now. Of course, I'm kidding. We've had these for ages. You'd all be familiar with, famous Australian scientists like Kylie Minogue, taught us all about locomotion. And of course, I come from a long line of hilarious Australian comedians, including my Uncle Bob, who absolutely cracks everybody up down at the Billabong.
Amazing. Sarah, can we just take a point off Kate already for that locomotion joke? I think it's important that a museum start on -1 for that. Ted Hill.
Hello.
Ted, how have you been? Have you been having a nice summer?
I've been having a lovely summer. I've got to say, Steve, I reckon it's probably the best summer of my life.
Wow, that's really good. Really good. Brilliant. So do you want to tell the lovely audience at home what your science and comedy credentials are?
Yeah, well, I mean, have we got an hour? Because it's going to take a long time for me to list all of my many science and comedy credentials, because I'm a highly credentialed man. I was born on the 28th of April, 1994. I was born and I did not cry. Many years later, I went to university.
Hold on 1 second, Ted. So that's when you were born. Where were you born, and what was your mother's maiden name?
I was born in the town of Wolverhampton, and my
glamorous.
It's a lovely, not nice place. And my mother's maiden name is Hill, because amazing. Guess what? Sometimes the woman doesn't have to take the man's name, Steve.
Okay,
No,
the birthplace and the mother's maiden name. What are the last 3 digits on your credit card? Just out of curiosity.
It's 068. do what you want with that information. I bet you can't hack into me with those numbers.
I mean, we've got your phone number from the last one, so we're
07736 903 201.
I have to edit it out every time.
I know. That's why I'm saying it.
It'll make right. That's enough TED for now.
It's a holiday paid for.
Let's move over to Team Eurekanerd. Now, Team Eurekanerd are very special in that the first team that when I asked them to play immediately moved in together and apparently have got married just to do the show, to live together in lockdown. I mean, I think that's bubbling just a little bit too much. But let's start with Leah. Hello, Leah. Can you tell the audience what your science and comedy credentials are?
So I've always been interested in science and accuracy and being the center of attention.
Oh, good. Yes, we can do that. We can't do accuracy on the show.
So when I moved in with a science communicator 5 years ago, 4.5, something like
4
that.
years ago.
That's how long ago I booked the teams for this one, fans. I had to
Amazing
give enough time
forward
for
planning.
Kate to move over and for William and Leah to get together.
So yeah, when I moved in with a science communicator, it made sense to turn my broadcast journalism degree towards reporting on science in a way which was more accessible than reading the research papers and more accurate than watching the news.
Brilliant. I mean, that leaves very little for him to say, but that's part of what the joy is of living together. That was marvelous. Thank you so much. So you're going to be the captain of Team Eurekanerd, obviously.
Obviously, I'm the funny one. I'm the pretty one. I'm the clever one.
Exactly. So let's go over to the dead weight, the subs bench, as it were. Will, can you tell everybody what your science and comedy credentials are?
Sure. Well, as you can tell by my beard and glasses and check shirt, I do podcasts. I am part of the Eurekanerd podcast, which is a broadly informative podcast. Also make the Wiki Walking podcast, which is a broadly informative show. Professionally, I make Research Pod, a broadly informative podcast. And I'm also part of the Sci-By Southwest Science Communication Events Group, whose live shows get turned into broadly informative podcasts. And I've spent a lot of my furlough over the summer making the Mad COVID Conversations podcast, which will be launching soon, where we have broadly informative interviews in a podcast form.
Wonderful. I mean, if you find one thing you're good at, just keep doing it and doing it and doing it.
One day I'll find it.
Yeah, I was about to say, Leah, is he good at it?
I mean, someone hired him to do it for pay, so that works.
And I've been shit at things for money before.
So these are our wonderful teams. Let's have a big round of applause for our teams. It's such a pleasure to work with all of you. So teams, you know how this goes. Audience at home, each round has a different structure and different questions. But let's start with the classic round one, a lovely, simple round. I want each of our guests to tell me how fans of science should be spending their summer. And I made the mistake last time Kate and Ted were on of going to Ted, who ruined the first question immediately with the first answer. And it was rescued by Kate. So this time I'm going to go to Kate, knowing that she is a straight A student. I mean, everybody is today. And, well, everybody at independent school, because their teachers always over-predict their grades, because that's how you game the system. Kate, tell me, how should fans of science be spending their summer?
Well, firstly, fans of science should be leaving scientists alone to do their very important work. Of course, you know, they should be looking for things like cures and the answer to global warming and ways to keep my skin wrinkle-free and my boobs still perky in the future. Now, what fans of science can, of course, do, and it would be remiss of me not to mention it, is head over to Exhibition Road. We've got lots of fun museums where they can check out all sorts of things. So obviously you can head to the Science Museum if you want some straight up science, or the NHM if you want, I don't know, dead things and dinosaurs. And of course, if arty tits are your thing, you can head over to my OnlyFans page and check that out over there.
How many underscores was that? Because it looked long.
Just the one.
Just one really long one, okay. Good. And there's a space in arty tits, or is arty tits all one word?
No, it's just one word, one word.
Okay, cool. Right. 2 more points for that. Brilliant. Round of applause for Kate, please. Excellent first answer. And we don't know Exhibition Road where that Kate was talking about. We don't know what museum she works for. It could have been Exhibition Road, Glasgow, and it's the
Like
Glasgow.
Desolation Road in the song.
No idea. No idea.
But
Will
definitely not Exhibitionist Road. Don't go there.
No, because then people can see it for free instead of
Exactly,
paying on
instead
your...
of paying for my OnlyFans.
Right, he's desperate to talk. Let's go and talk to him. Team Eurekanerd, Will, tell me, how should fans of science be spending their summer?
Well, seeing as it's the sum of the year 2020, there are some criteria it's got to meet. It's got to be indoors. It's got to be accessible. It's got to jeopardize your future employment. So, I mean, it's mostly what I've been doing so far, which is starting fights on Twitter. We've had Twitter fights for best model organism. We've been catfished by physics. So I've come up with a list of some quite BuzzFeedy topics that you can get into Twitter fights about, like eugenics, your employers, and you, a quiz. What Starlink satellite blocking out your birth sign and what it says about you. Making old men's skull explode whilst maintaining social distancing using nothing but your misremembered physics A-level. And 12 reasons not to be a transphobe. You won't believe number 12.
Wonderful. Big round of applause for Will, please. Will, I have to ask, I'm assuming that you do all of this Twitter trolling in the old-fashioned sense, not the new-fashioned sense, to kind of, build your following and all those sorts of things. How has Eurekanerd only got 8?
Follow me. No, this is just so I'm not trapped with my own thoughts.
Oh, okay, right. It seemed like a lot of effort for 824 followers. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I think it's trolling for good.
Okay.
Like every Pride or LGBT STEM day, I get to argue with homophobes and convince them that I'm right.
Wow. And how's that gone? How many of them have... Now, what do they do when they know they're wrong?
If you say, for example, oh, we should have more queer people in positions of representation in media and in science and making sure that young students or people at school know that there is a place for them in academia, and someone comes out and says, only gender, you're like, congratulations, you have engaged with the topic and thank you for that. So it's really important that everyone here knows that you are committed, just as we are, to making sure that there aren't homophobes and bigots and transphobes running the country. Fuck.
That was a lot of words.
I do that.
This is the noise that you can have. Right, I should have put the campfire on for us to sit around before Uncle Will started telling us his war stories.
I thought that was just you're flaming me.
No. Let's dive right back to like a man who wastes time like no other. In that he has a quiz on Twitch. Ted, do you make money with your quiz on Twitch?
No, of course not. No, it's been a resounding failure.
Sometimes, like, failure is part of the cycle to success.
Yeah, I'm definitely. The cycle is a very long one that involves spending a lot of money on equipment that is not recouped.
Oh, poor Teddy. We'll work out a way to get you your money. Now, Ted, tell me, what should fans of science be doing this summer?
Well, first of all, I think it's important that we work out who fans of science are. And to me, you're not a fan of science unless you got at least 2 A stars at GCSE in 2 of the 3 science subjects. If you are wondering, am I smart enough to be a fan of science? You're not smart enough. I reckon that we should, as a community, try and get rid of as many of the thick people as we possibly can. And when we get the people that are left over, what are they going to do for their summers? Well, I would recommend that they probably just go and get a professional website from Wix. If they're looking to create a professional website, blog, or portfolio, they've got great features like advanced SEO, email marketing, and more. So if you go to wix.com/TED50, you can get 50% off a purchase of a website or domain. Remember, do it your way, do it with Wix.
Can I double check and say Wix, WICKES?
You can try and get a website with the builder's trade, the trade purchasing builder supply shop if you want. But if you go to WICKES, you will not get anything.
Okay, good.
So if you go to WIX patreon.com/Ted50, you will also get nothing.
Okay, Sarah, can we take a point off Ted? Because A stars didn't exist when I did my GCSEs.
Yeah, no, that was intentional.
I did them the year they were so easy. They had to bring in A stars the next year. Everybody got A's. Brilliant. Right, let's move on. Who haven't I heard from? Leah. Yes. Less. Equally wonderful politics as well, but hopefully with less ranting. Leah, tell me, how should fans of science be spending their summer?
I have also been starting Twitter fights, I'm going to admit. The other thing I've mostly been doing is talking to my colleagues about how we might go back to the office in September. And whilst absolutely believing that that's not going to happen, and I think probably fellow science fans are also discussing getting back out of the working from home rut whilst believing it's not going to happen.
The pursuit of an unknowable truth.
Yeah.
But it's air conditioning.
Yeah. Missing the air conditioning. That's the big one.
I can understand that you want to get back to work because somebody's playing Scar on your street. But other than that, going to work seems like a terrible idea, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, I'm still having to do the work at home without the air conditioning and without people who regularly bring in cake. So...
Okay.
Not as often as my colleagues do. Sorry.
Right. Let's someone else is getting cake and it's not me, and I'm very upset about those things. So thank you, big round of applause for all of our players in round one. Let's go to Sarah Jones. Sarah Jones, how are the teams doing in terms of numbers? I mean, I'm not doing very well in terms of hosting. I don't think I'm a bit off my game. While you do these scores, I might plug my air conditioner in, try and chill myself down a bit.
Oh, fair enough. So Eurekanerd are currently on 12 points and also a little fire.
I think that's good.
That's the campfire where Will says things that everybody agrees with.
A little fire for him there. And luckily for a science museum, they've made a big comeback this time based on their last performance, and they're on 13.
Wow.
I don't know what you mean. Our last performance, we were very good.
Well, Kate was very
Well, you
good.
did lose.
Oh well, but we lost because Steve decided we would lose. We were the rightful winners.
That's how scoring works in a
We're
game
using
like
Eurovision
this.
2020, wasn't
It was
About to lose them all again, Ted.
It was a tie, and you just gave them a point for no reason other than because you wanted us to lose because you're jealous of my good looks.
No, Alex was the first person to say anything funny. So we got a point. Let's move on. Teams, it's time for round two, which is our great lists of science. So I'm going to give you the title of essentially a PowerPoint slide, and you're going to tell me bullet points that will be on that PowerPoint slide. Every time you say a funny one, you get a little ding and you get a point. Dive in whenever you've got anything funny to say, unless someone else is talking, because Zoom doesn't work like that. The first of your great list of science is reasons for not wearing a mask in TK Maxx.
I'm a fuckwit.
I shop, I die, I shop again. Witness me!
Why should I wear a mask when TK Maxx isn't wearing a mask? It needs to wear a mask to protect me, and I'll wear one to protect it. Build a massive mask for me!
It's very important that everyone can see my expressions of disgust when we're playing What's the Ugliest Thing in the Shop.
It's a great game.
Do you know what? I really struggled to come up with reasons for this, and I thought, God, if only there was an actual dickhead I could ask. So, Ted, why wouldn't you wear a mask in TK Maxx?
Because if we wear masks, then it's the same as Sharia law. It's like if there's all loads of Sharia law everywhere, and then all of a sudden I'm not allowed to have a baked potato. And yeah, I don't know what Sharia law is, but I don't think it's good.
Just career advice, right? If you actually adopted as real positions the positions that you take, ironically, there's a lot of money to be made.
There's a radio slot for you on LBC for sure.
Exactly, as an edgelord right-wing comedian, because there's so many nights trying to be the like edgelord Tory thing, and there's only 4 comics, and they just book them over and over again. So I'm just saying, Obviously, it's the wrong thing to do ethically, morally, and intellectually, but financially.
Whenever someone says to me, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?" I just hold up a picture of Ben Shapiro and then I say nothing.
Perfect. Yeah. Some great way to go.
TK Maxx without a mask on, huffing the candle-flavored coffees and the coffee-flavored candles.
Yes. Any more reasons to not wear a mask in TK Maxx?
If I were to
Everyone's going to be observing a safe 2-meter distance at all times.
If I were to shoplift something, they wouldn't be able to tell who I was and be able to prosecute me effectively for the crime. So really, it is in interest of shop security that I will not wear a mask.
I mean, what if you wore a mask 6 foot across so you could hide an entire suit behind it as you left?
That would work.
Kate.
I think they would have to let me have the suit.
Yeah.
Well, if anything, it's probably more important because surely you're always just shocked by those low prices.
No dings for that. The prices aren't low enough. I'm a freelance stand-up comedian. I shop in charity shops. Right, let's go on to the second of our great lists of science. Friends, tell me the thing you said that got you thrown out of the work Zoom meeting.
And you forget to turn your comedy background from the casting couch.
There's a constant pressure at the Science Museum Zoom meetings. We actually do them on Microsoft Teams, but you will be kicked out if you don't at the beginning do the 1 minute's applause for Big Oil.
That's a good one. That's a really good one, John. Look, everyone, John's changed his background to an absolute shithole. Oh, no, that's just where you live. Oh,
Grabbing your pet cat at the start of the call and going, Zabanya, Mama Bitsabee.
So we've gone through.
Were you mocking a religion, or was that the Lion King?
I don't know if he's joking or not.
It's the Lion King, Steve.
Lion King. Point then.
You have children.
They're not that old yet, though.
They're not old enough for the Lion King.
So we've covered.
I had to hate watch The Lion King with them. Go back through my Twitter and you can find me reviewing The Lion King. Go on, Ted.
I've been interrupted now. I don't want to do it.
Brilliant. Point for me. Friends, other things you said that got you thrown out of the work Zoom meeting?
I got kicked out for something I didn't say, which was, no, darling, don't come in. I haven't turned the camera off.
all right, everyone, I'm just going to share screen. If I could turn back time.
So we've gone through,
Australian.
Yeah, it's Australian show. She's famously.
Why did you do a weird kind of Irish second half of the line? Given that you could have just done your normal voice.
Well, I'll take that as a note for next time. Thanks, Steve.
Is there going to be a next time?
As long as you stay quiet.
Kate's welcome back anytime. Well, Leah, any things that got you thrown out of the work Zoom meeting?
I'm civil. I'm polite. I'm charming as a motherfucker. I'm always welcome.
Can't hear a thing you're saying, Will. If you do really quiet deadpan that far from the microphone, it's just...
I'm so polite, I'm allowed in her Zoom meetings. That's how polite I am.
It's true. It's true.
It's phenomenal. Right, let's go on to the third list then, friends. This is one that I've put in specially to alienate the usual geek science show off, never explain audience. And it is unexpected things to hear in sports commentary.
And as we can all agree, this observation of kneeling silence to support the Black Lives Matter movement will surely move the hearts and minds of government to take meaningful action and support marginalized communities.
To be fair, they do say that on basketball commentary, but go on. Tell me more, friends. Unexpected things to hear in sports commentary.
Oh, look at that! Some people are on the pitch, and they're all wearing the same clothes. Oh, it's the players. Never mind. That's my fault. It's the players.
Welcome to Match of the Day Esports Edition. Coming up, my grandson explains what poggers in chat means.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
It's a Twitch thing. Ask Ted. Ted,
you're youthful. What was that? Poggers.
Terribly young.
Poggers
you were born in the 90s.
Yeah.
I was born in the 90s, but I didn't know what those noises meant.
Okay. Okay, any more, friends? Unexpected things to hear in sports commentary.
He's got the balls. Oh, look at that pecker. I have not seen cockfighting like this in years.
As we enter day 12 of the cricket match, I just want to go home, please. I have wife and children.
And the quarterback is taking a knee. Oh, we don't like to see that. How's the other guy going to play without a knee?
And since the Olympics has been called off due to the pandemic, BBC Two will now be broadcasting Game Grumps play Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. Meanwhile, on the red button, you can tune into 10 uninterrupted hours of Wii bowling.
And Jesse Owens wins the 100 meters. He is the champion, the Olympic gold medalist. And look at Adolf Hitler's face. I doubt we'll be hearing from him again.
These two are heavyweights. They've dropped their towels. I've not seen cocks fighting like this in years.
I mean, cockfighting is still legal some places in the world. I think the Canary Islands. I only know this because I was the comedian in residence on a research project into the relationship between humans and chickens. And one of the research teams was doing anthropology of cockfighting. I think it was the Canary Islands. And yeah, they were telling me about how to spot illegal cockfighting in the UK. If you see a cock who's had their comb cut off, it's probably a fighter or a retired fighter that's out and about in your country lane. There's loads of cockfighting going on, apparently. It's not, I don't approve of it, but it's there. Friends, any more unexpected things to hear in sports commentary?
Well, with the Match of the Day eSports edition, where a naughty goose has stolen the trophy.
Very topical for 9 months ago. Brilliant.
Well, with the Grand National today, it's important to go back to an old saying that we in the horse community say, which is, I'm a horse, clippity, clippity, clop, I'm a little horse, my little mane, get on my back, ride me like a little horsey.
I don't think Ted's okay.
I think that was Ted's best answer he's ever done in the entire history of this game. Any more unexpected things to hear in sports commentary?
It's funny because I grew up in a horse racing town, and mostly what they say is we're getting ready for the Gold Cup race and the vets are polishing their rifles.
We're slipping Matt Hancock another 10 grand. Now,
That too.
Kate, I wrote this expecting one specific answer from you. If you could say it, I'll give you 4 points. Unexpected things to hear in sports commentary.
Is this the awkward bit where I reveal I'm an Australian who doesn't watch sport?
Is it England win the Ashes?
Oh, is it?
Is it Australia follow the rules?
Oi.
One for Ted for that one. No, it was going to be Kate. I was just expecting you to say, and England have beaten Australia. It would have been 4 points for that, but no one got them. There's Will for his Ashes comment, which was close, but not the exact thing. You know, it's like opening the envelope and seeing what the secret answer was. Brilliant. That was round 2. Big round of applause for all of our people. It's good to know that apparently we're alienating the audience one by one. There was nothing in the chat thread during that whole sports bit. Apart from Anthony Pavida, famous, of course, for stealing Will's jokes, just saying more sports. See, I remember that gig you did years and years and years ago, Will. So let's fly over to Wales, because I ain't getting on no train. But weirdly, I'll get into a metal tube stuffed with people, and we'll find out what's happening with Jones. Jones.
Well, it was an interesting round there. For a while, Eurekanerd had overtaken, mainly because I was punishing Ted because I only did single science GCSE.
And I think less of you for it.
How's your PhD going, Ted?
Huh? They asked me not to do it because it would be unfair on everyone else.
Joe.
But I did get one of the top marks in the country in one of my science A levels. In your face, Ted. In your face. And now I'm a successful points counter on a online science panel show.
Yeah,
so
you really showed
The
me.
absolute dream.
who's the real winner? Anyway, Eurekanerd fell behind with Ted's excellent horse answer and is now on 36.
6. Remember, teams, if you want them in Welsh, you have to score odd numbers.
Luckily for a science museum, they did. Treating now.
Yes!
Yeah,
Cool.
baby.
I'm not cheering on Ted and Kate. I'm just cheering on Welsh.
39 of those big boys.
Yeah, right. Let's move on to round 3. And so one of the things that's happening, we do this quiz every week. I have to write the questions, often very quickly, and often in a strange mood. Some of you will remember the classic round 2 question, where have I put my keys? So it's time for round 3. Round 3's question for every single one of our competitors. And we're going to start with, what order did I go in last time? Leah was last. So Leah, you're going to go first. The question is, what is the reason for existence? Let's fly over to Eurekanerd, the captain of the team, Leah. What is the reason for existence?
I've thought long and hard about it, and I've come to the conclusion that it's simply inventing time travel so that I can create time travel paradoxes, closed loop of repeating but sustainable impossibility so I never have to do anything again.
Perfect.
Top options, going back in time to prevent the invention of time travel, or accidentally killing yourself before inventing time travel.
Perfect. Excellent. Is there anything fun you do with your time travel now that you've got time travel?
Probably go and find out a few things for certain that historians have been saying for years that we could never know. Maybe bring back a dinosaur and just really embarrass some paleontologists.
Or reintroduce dodos to the Hebrideans or something. Just like, oh no, they were there the whole time.
Oh, yeah. That would be fun.
Amazing. Brilliant. Thank you so much. A round of applause for you. Sometimes I remember the rounds of applause. Sometimes I don't, depending on who's here. Let's fly over now to Ted. Ted, as ever, showing us his wardrobe. We can see his many different outfits for the many different moods of Ted. And what I thought for a minute was one of the largest dildos I've ever seen, but it's an orange water bottle. I just see the lid on it.
Oh, I don't know.
I believe in you, Ted.
Know.
Anything's possible when you put your mind to it.
And have enough lube.
Anything's a dildo if you have what I like to call persistence.
Well, and presumably sandpaper. You want to take the rough edges off something. So, Ted,
that's the kids' way of doing it. Never mind. Let's move on from that.
Keep talking, Ted.
I retract that statement entirely.
Is this your new? Oh, actually, I am really a very right-wing edgelord.
Cancel me.
Is that what means is the rough edges?
I don't know. Edgelord's one of those words that people in their late 20s use, and I use it as well, hoping they don't ask me anything about its meaning. Ted,
that's so cool.
On the subject of that, Lords, Ted, what is the reason for existence?
Well, for me, what keeps me going is the thought that one day we're going to get rid of all these immigrants, that we're just finally going to round them all up and we're going to send them back where they came from. That's not true. Of course not. I love immigrants, I suppose. I've been thinking.
How do you expect me to score this, right? If you say something deliberately inflammatory, I can't go ding, 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 ding all the way.
You told me to be. He just said ding, ding, ding. That's 5 dings.
Wrong sound.
Okay, what would be the right sound though? Just as an example.
Well, the right sound for you
has the PhD here and is trying to outsmart you.
Okay, all right. So I would say that the meaning of life is love. Isn't love great? Love is fantastic. And if
are you in love, Ted?
I'm not in love, no. But when next time I am in love, I will look forward to lying down with.
What are you looking for in a partner? Is there anything you'd like to? Because there's a lot of people watching this, and one of them might be interested, and they've got friends, and their friends might be. And we'll put this on YouTube eventually. So what kinds of thing are you looking for? What would allow somebody to become the other half of Ted Hill?
Well, I would say that when I sort of, because when you Google someone, you want to be able to get a good impression of who they are. So I'd say if they have a professionally designed website with Wix.com, then that would really put across the main things about them. And if that does go, they've got a good website on Wix.com, and if they could use Wix.com/TED50 to get 50% off a website or domain, then we'd get back to the stage where I bring them back to my house, and we could have a nice lie down on my Casper mattress. The thing about Casper mattresses is that you get a 90-day risk-free trial. There is no risk at all. The guys at Casper, they sent me they sent me this mattress that I've got right here, and I have to say it's changed my life. And if you would like to get 30% off a Casper mattress, then if you go to casper.co.uk, yeah, you will find that they actually don't ship to the UK anymore. They don't sell in the UK, which I just realized about 3 minutes ago when I was looking on my phone. But maybe they'll come back.
Well, it's wonderful that Ted is using this to audition for every American podcast. Lovely. Next will be a wine club. What's the thing that?
Someone did a murder. Who did it? Nobody knows.
We're going to heavily hint at somebody, thus ruining their life.
I think it was Prince Philip.
Let's fly away from Ted, and we'll go to. Because we're like, we need to go to somebody really sensible who's not going to say anything that will offend. Will.
I will make sure to preface any statements with allegedly or legally distinct from. I mean, but it's clearly not look after your fellow man because
men should all be killed.
I mean, broadly speaking.
A point for me for killing all men, I think. Yeah, thanks. Go on, Will.
I mean, if you look at what humanity has been achieving or has been trying to achieve, like what are our current goals? I don't think it's viral TikTok fame. It could be donating to our Patreon. If he's going to monetize this platform, I will monetize this platform.
Wait, you've got 864 Twitter followers and a Patreon?
I don't know if I'm supposed to be offended by this or not, so I'm just going to be offended in case.
I think optimism's a wonderful thing. Hope never dies.
Kate has far fewer followers, and she has an OnlyFans, so you know.
Yeah, but she doesn't. OnlyFans monetizes directly, you know. Anyway,
Patreon has opened its door to a huge amount of lawsuits due to their no platforming of far right bigots. So, who knows how long will last?
Yeah, that's why I'm not on it.
Other candidates
bizarrely appointed Ted there. Go on, Will. Keep telling us. Don't let Ted butt in and steal points.
I mean, other failed attempts at the reason for existence have been Inbox Zero. At the moment, I'm just thinking of cancelling every single celebrity until only I remain.
Perfect. Is that the end of your answer?
It can be.
Because it was a lot of micro answers stitched together, so it's hard for me to feel the narrative arc through it and say, of course. Like I've
watched this show before.
Yeah, no. Micro answers, like, people think I'm going to get a point for each micro answer. And then I'm like, they're doing the micro answer strategy, and I just take 20 off. I won't take 20 off. It's fine.
Just had trouble thinking of one big thing. That was the issue.
Because we have this flat that we live in and like shared answers, we wrote one single answer, and I've now had to break that down to the two separate answers.
Will,
to pull back the curtain.
All you had to do was say the reason for existence is Leah, and I would have given you 5 points straight away. You know.
Well, if you have to say it, then does it really count for anything?
No. You're saying it in front of others, and I know you've done that before, but this is a much
I said it in front of others twice. There was a party. This was the photo backdrop. You were busy having children.
Yeah, anything to get out of that. Amazing. Right, let's go.
Delightful meringue.
Let's back away from Will. Before I get told off worse, and we're going to go to.
We can get the photo albums. There's 2 of them.
Hey, right, Kate. What is the reason for existence?
Well, if lockdown has taught us anything, it's that human connection is super important, and I think that's probably the reason for our existence. And we can break this down into kind of 2 forms of communication: fighting and fucking. So, fucking, the point of that is just to produce some mates, right? To mate and produce children. So, if I were to take those of you on the panel today, so ladies, we'll leave you to the side, but I'm sure you're both wonderful lovers and you're very beautiful. Will, I guess we could start off pretty simple, go for something kind of standard, I don't know, kind of missionary style. That sounds good. Steve, maybe you'd be into, I don't know, something a bit quirky with some toys. And Ted, I'd go for the fighting, so I'd probably just bash him over the head with a baseball bat.
I'd hit you with this big old dildo.
Amazing. Well, that was odd. Thank you for not making really, really, really detailed guesses about what that could have taken a while. Phenomenal.
I can't wait for in 5 years' time when Kate and me are married and we do this show. And I reprimand her for giving such horrible answers.
And in that case, I give you all permission to bash me over the head with a baseball bat.
No, because you're happy. You're actually very happy and having a nice time in the marriage, actually.
Ed, stop, rewind. Do you think that's a possibility?
Yeah, I need a green card.
For Australia?
No, for the UK. I had my citizenship taken away. It was a long story. It involves ISIS. I don't want to dwell into it.
And you're actually a tiny baby that just grew really fast.
Yeah, there's
your ill-formed opinions.
I'm several tiny babies in a trench coat. In reality,
yes. Brilliant. Right, round of applause for everybody. Jones, we've heard from everybody, haven't we?
We have.
I'm terrible at this stuff. Good. Right, let's go to Sarah Jones. Like, if this was real, I'd have a producer in my ear going, and now go to Ted Hill. You haven't heard from Ted yet. But it's not. I'm just in my shed.
Well, I think you're going to absolutely love the scores in this round, Steve. Yeah. Because Eurekanerd are on Pimp Dig Pimp.
Yes, Pimp Dig Pimp, the best number of all in Welsh. The best number of all in Welsh.
And the Science Museum, a museum are on Pimp Dig Scythe.
Woo!
Yay!
Yeah. Right. So we've now got the bonus round, and the bonus round, as you all know, is even weirder than all the other rounds. Previous bonus rounds have included Shag, Marry, Kill, Would You Rather, and which planet would you have sex with and why? That was one of my favorites. So today's is the scavenger home hunt. All of our contestants have been set 3 challenges to find things from within their own house, and we're giving points for great items and great stories. So everybody, the first thing that I want you to tell me is what have you found in your house that is an item of food or drink that you have owned for as long as possible? Tell me what you've got.
So we've again done this together because
teamwork.
We live together. We don't have separate households. This is a jar of 4-year-old tahini.
We tried making hummus once. We live in Bristol.
It was pumpkin flavoured. We didn't add enough salt.
Bristol just had a 3rd tap for hummus.
No, that's for cider. The hummus gets clogged in the pipes.
Wonderful. And what are you going to do with it now? Are you going to bin it, or are you going to keep it in case you do hummus again?
We've realised it's out of date by 2 years and it does smell a bit funny, so I think we'll probably dispose of it.
That will try to ferment it and come up with the first sesame-based alcohol. Is it sesame?
It won't be the first.
Sesame-based alcohol.
Excellent work, Eurekanerd. Let's go over to the 2 members of the Team A Museum that might have some science in it. Show me the food or drink that you have owned for as long as...
So this is not, it's not that old. This question was a little tricky. This is pea soup from about the beginning of lockdown that didn't taste very good. So I froze it. It's not gone off. It's frozen because I felt bad throwing it away. But I'm not going to lie to you. It was really hard because in our house, we don't leave things till they go off and gross. And that's not because I'm a great person, but my house paint is very, very clean. So sometimes, and I'm admitting this live, and she is in the other room watching. So sometimes when I let my stuff in the fridge go a little bit off, I have to tell her it's because the fridge is being funny, and that's why everything is kind of moldy. But in actuality, the fridge is probably fine, and I'm just not that good of a person.
Go on, Anna, if you're watching this, walk into the room and go and shout at Kate.
The other day, she had to send me a message saying, did you know 3 moldy strawberries have stuck to the floor underneath the cupboard? And I had to say no. And she said, oh, good, I just wanted to check you weren't doing some kind of experiment.
I think it's lovely that she respects your intellectual curiosity enough that she's like, this might be part of Britain's response to COVID. The secret was inside moldy strawberries. Ted, what did you manage to find?
So I'm gonna full disclosure. I didn't think we'd be doing this round, so I have not prepped anything. But I actually have something that will beat that will beat all of these, because I have this notebook here was given to me by my friend Hattie 3 years ago for my birthday, and 4 points. I will eat some of this. I can't hear any dinging. Why is there not any dinging?
Because it looked kind of tasty.
It's not. It's really not. Do you know? Imagine what you think paper would taste like. It tastes exactly like that.
Oh, you'd think having a mouthful of paper would shut him up, wouldn't you?
No,
Right,
I could fit 3 more of these in, and I could still keep going.
So this is very exciting that Leah and Will are like, oh, we're hamstrung by living together. And unfortunately, the other team is just hamstrung by Ted, as usual. So let's move on to the second part of our scavenger hunt. Teams, I want to see the best thing you have in your house. That is a stolen good. What have you got that's nicked, friends?
Well, I've got these diamonds, but I'm not sure if they're blood or not. So I thought I'd just leave them out of the whole thing. But what I do have that's stolen is my Australian passport. Not because I've stolen mine or anyone else's identity, but because Australia is, of course, stolen land. Fun fact for everyone, we are the only country to not have a treaty with our native population. Now, that's not a joke, that's just a fact. Go look it up if you want. It's called check out the Uluru Statement to the Heart. And I'm going to just leave it on that note. Go educate yourself, Britain.
Once went for dinner with the 4 white Australians, and they started having a real go at me about Britain's past. And they were like, and you came over and you did this and you did that. And I had to stop them after a while and go, I fucking didn't. That was your family. Like, I'm descended from people that stayed here and did fuck all. It wasn't me that went and done the thing. And they were like, oh yeah. It's like, it's not like, anyway.
Well, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. My family were criminals,
Well,
First to get them sent over there. And then what did you expect them to do?
Well, it's because your family had all become those extreme kind of right-wing comedians. So, friends, what else have we got that's stolen? Kate's done a metaphor.
We have a actual item, which is a teaspoon that was stolen from a Marriott hotel in Bristol by one of the maids of honor.
By my very oldest friend, one of my bridesmaids,
who spent the entirety of our wedding making gooey eyes at one of my oldest friends. And then they spent a lot of the evening talking together and comparing tattoos. And then we're up until like 4 a.m. in the lobby of this Marriott hotel, just talking, just, really connecting as human beings, and somehow managed to not sleep together.
But she did bring us a teaspoon as a souvenir.
One of them has no game. One of them. On the subject of no game, Ted Hill.
What have you shoplifted recently, Ted?
What stolen goods have you got in your house? I saw you go and get something.
Yeah, so I just went and stole my flatmate's a Dave Joke of the Fringe trophy. And as far as I'm concerned, I am now the rightful winner of this trophy. The £1,000, I will be sending him a PayPal.me link for the £1,000 prize. Yep. And not only this year, not only 2017 one, but I want to have won all of them. Right. I will make it my goal by the end of this year. I will officially be crowned the Dave Joke of the Fringe for every single fringe. I also stole his laptop. So if anyone would like to, if anyone would like to buy that, or how many points will you give me if I eat it?
No. That's the prize for the quiz on Sunday.
Okay, yeah, his laptop.
Get a lot more viewers.
It's an HP, and it's got all the keys. It's got all the keys you'd possibly want. Q and L. It's an elite book, and you can set the screensaver to whatever you want. It's a great laptop, and it could be yours for winning for £399.99. To the person who texted me asking about the Casper mattress, you can't have it. But you could buy it off me, and you could buy the laptop as well. And if you don't, I will give your phone number to the Taliban.
Right. Thanks, Ted.
Wait. Ted, what was the prize-winning joke?
Huh? The
What
prize-winning
was your
joke.
prize-winning
Well,
joke?
I remember when I personally wrote the prize-winning joke. Because it's one of the jokes that I wrote, and it goes
like a bolt of divine inspiration.
Yeah. So it is. It just hit me, and it's a lot of people say no. That's not how did I phrase it? Let me try and remember how it was in my show that I did.
I imagine that you were.
Go on then.
Yeah.
Do
So
your work.
when I was doing my Edinburgh show that year, which was called Ken Cheng Chinese Comedian. It was a weird title for the show, but I drew people in. The joke was a lot of people don't like. Oh, I don't like the new 50p piece because I hate all change. Yeah, I mean that joke won me £1,000. I don't know why you're not enjoying it.
Friends, any more stolen goods to show me? Right, let's move on to category 3 of the scavenger hunt, which is what dead animals have you got?
Oh shit!
We have 2 entries for this.
Yes, let's have them.
Where have you dug up the second one from? Do we get points for the number of them? Because this is about 65, I think, dead clothes moths.
That's the Great War, yeah.
This is because in the boiler cupboard, I have a bag, and in the bag is a fleece. It is an entire raw fleece of a Portland ewe whose name is Delight. And apparently she's delicious. I don't think she should be delicious, so I'm trying to murder as many of them as possible.
Amazing.
She's slowly becoming. Well, what will Delight become in time? What's a project for that, please?
And what's your?
There isn't one.
Is your second one the fleece?
No, we've got.
No, because the sheep lives.
Oh, the sheep's still alive.
When you shear them, they live.
Okay.
As much as Peter may pose with dead sheep, but you've got to wonder where the people for the ethical treatment of animals got a dead sheep from. No, the sheep just gets a haircut. It's fine.
Right. So what's your second one?
We've got a tin of fox bones.
Show us. Come on. Get this out. Put it in front. What species of fox?
Presumably just the local fox.
Right.
The local red fox.
Where did you move it?
I don't know where I've actually moved
did
it
the
to
fox
be
die?
honest. We should have found it before we
Yeah,
before we carried on.
cocky as shit. Like, we've got 2.
Anyway, a goth friend.
Here it is. There we are.
A goth friend is moving and had a clear out.
So here's a tin. It says fox.
The tin is labelled fox, and we have an assortment of ribs and vertebrae.
Amazing. Right, excellent. Right, let's go over to the team from a museum that occasionally has science in it. We're going to start by seeing what Ted's nicked from around the house. Ted, tell me, what dead animals have you got? Please don't have killed your neighbour's cat and brought
No. What I've done is, will you accept the Dave joke of the French trophy again for this one?
No, it's not a dead animal.
Okay, so I sponsor a gorilla through the WWF. So what I did quickly impromptu was I cancelled my sponsorship of that gorilla. So now it is more likely that he will be shot by poachers.
Lovely. I mean, literally, a leather jacket would have done. But let's go over to Kate.
There's also a ghost. There's a ghost under here as well. Would you like to meet the ghost of the animal?
Well, let's find out.
If we see it, Steve, it's on you. I'm giving you an out.
No, then.
Okay.
I thought that.
Fuck off.
And you're like, it's down there, and I just happen to know your crotch is roughly in that direction, and I don't know.
One of the interesting facts about me is that my crotch is here.
Save your...
Well, I don't actually have an object for this one, Steve, and that's because I was actually a little bit offended that you even put this on the list, because it's a pretty well-known fact that I love animals. I absolutely love having pets, but I have not had the best luck with them in the past. So we had a lot of cats, but we lived on a main road, so they kept getting run over. We lost quite a few that way. Then we got some turtles, and both my brother and I, when we were kids, were allowed to name one each. I called mine Happy. He's called his Toilet. And then they disappeared, and only one returned. So we just decided that it was Happy who had come back. We weren't exactly sure which one it was. And we had a swimming pool. So we used to like to get out the thing that was for skimming leaves off the top and flipped them into the pool. And poor old Happy actually had a heart attack and died in the chlorinated swimming pool. But none of that is quite as bad as my absolute best friend when I was growing up, my dog Jenna, who accidentally hung herself. She accidentally hung herself. So we were on holiday at the time. My Nana, who hates pets, was looking after the dog. She had one of those collars with a dog bone with a label. She was lying on a wooden slatted table. The dog bone got caught in between the slats. She jumps off.
Is that the RSPCA coming?
Slowly hangs herself. We know it was a slow death because she munched away at the side of the table, which my parents kept for another 10 years.
The ghost isn't looking like such a bad option now, is it, Steve?
No. So, Kate, do you remember how the first time your team was on this, you lost loads of points because Ted just didn't answer a question?
Yeah.
It says, bring me the best things you have in your home.
I brought you my traumatized childhood memories. What could you want?
I mean, I need to give you...
Dinosaur.
It's me, the ghost of Kate's dog.
I didn't even think about the dinosaur we've been sat in front of the entire time for dead animals.
That's
No.
it's not dead, it's imaginary.
Yeah, it would have to be. Yeah, dinosaurs are imaginary. And I want an actual dead animal. I only did this because I got told off by my partner who found a pickled naked mole rat in the room she uses as an office. It's bought legally from somebody who's got the right licenses. I double checked with the person who's the number one breeder of naked mole rats in the country. He'd heard of this guy and he would have the right licenses. But yeah, there's a pickled naked mole rat in a jar.
I'd be thrilled to find a secret pickled naked mole rat.
Yeah, she's less.
I think Steve should post it to you and we'll put that to the test.
I think it's probably illegal to post it. It's full of formaldehyde and stuff. Right, let's stop this before I lose what little is left of my mind. Thank you for that wonderful bonus round, teams. I mean, it would have been nicer if you'd all actually bothered to do it, but there we go.
Oh, I'm sorry that we don't all have a dead animal in our house, Steve.
You could have been creative, like I said.
I tried. I went on the dark web, but the delivery time was too long for when you gave us the questions.
A leather jacket.
You couldn't find a dead fly? Come on.
Yeah.
No. I've never once successfully killed a fly.
Wow. Okay, I killed a wasp today because I am the great hunter. I killed it with a steel pint glass, bonged it out the air, and then squished it.
And then you put it in the fridge waiting for your partner to find it.
No, I did. I was about to throw it into the lawn, and then I thought, no, kids will go and stand on it.
Put it in
I had to go put it in the bin. It was. It really took the edge off the kill, like having to do all the cleanup rather than just like dismiss the corpse. Right, let's go over to Wales. Sarah, have you got any good dead animals in the house?
Well, until very recently, I had that naked mole rat in my house. Because,
yes, of course.
Because Steve
my house.
Steve is a very disturbing landlord. Well, if you'd like to know about the scores,
we would like to.
Yeah, that's literally your job. We pay you for that, Sarah.
You yourself have currently 2 points, which
yeah.
I'm quite drunk because kind of.
That margarita.
I forgot about the margarita.
In the old large margarita there, but right, I'm no analyst, but I'm gonna say the fact that the Science Museum basically didn't do that round has scuppered them a little bit because they are on Scythe Dig Scythe.
Oh, it's a nice number. I feel that it's not big enough.
And a little drum roll for Ted there.
I tell you what, take that, put a couple of zeros on it, and you've got a deal.
Yeah, 0077.
Or 0770. To be honest, I think that'd be enough.
But what am I getting out of this deal, Ted? Do I get extra points?
Sarah, the offer comes off the table at midnight.
Can I have points in your quiz?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well,
you can give me as many points as we need to win, and I will give you that many points in our quiz. And do you know what? I'll give you £1 as well.
Well, let's see how many points we need to win. Because Eurekanerd are on 84.
They're not on. It's finished. The quiz is all over. They're the winners.
It's not over until the deal is struck.
84. I'll just write those numbers down so I can make sure that you're right down the bottom of the league table there. A museum with some science in it. Very much the lesson.
All right,
Again, is
Sarah,
actually...
I will do the washing up at your house once.
I live in Steve's house. There's a fancy dishwasher.
Yeah.
I will load the dishwasher.
She doesn't live in my house that I live in. That would be very weird. Although, are you good at babysitting, Sarah?
I'm all right.
Brilliant. Right. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you, wonderful audience members. It's been lovely having you here. You are all great. Come again next week. Next week. What have I got next week? Say My Name, which is a wonderful online and real life event series, are taking on the United States of America. The whole of the United States of America is coming for that one. I think it's going to be very, very, very exciting. Same place as usual. Go on Eventbrite for tickets. Go on Facebook for tickets. Those are the places. I really ought to put these on my website, shouldn't I? Fucking stupid.
I can't wait to find out how their childhood dogs have died.
What, the USA?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's give up all of our teams a massive round of applause. Thank them for being here. It's been very good. Sarah, have you got any final advice for audience members, players?
It is absolutely do not drink 6 units of alcohol inside one drink during an hour.
Okay.
While
Unless
you're being filmed.
Unless you want to, in which case.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you'd like to be the kind of drunk where it's only acceptable because Ted was so right-wing during the show, then go for it.
I would like that, actually, yes.
Amazing. Right. Thank you all very much. Bye-bye, everybody. We'll see you again soon.
That's Fun the Police.
Bye, 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 bye.